This is AP Psychology, Chapter 7, Part 4. We left off, we were talking about hallucinogens. And what we want to do here is describe the physiological and psychological effects of hallucinogens and summarize the effects of LSD and marijuana. All right, hallucinogens are psychedelic, mind-manifesting drugs that distort perceptions and evoke sensory images in the absence of sensory input. Hallucinogens like LSD and other powerful hallucinogens are chemically similar to and therefore block the action of a subtype of neurotransmitter known as serotonin. Common components of LSD experience are hallucinations, emotions ranging from euphoria to panic. A person's current mood and expectations affect the drug's effects. Marijuana's main active ingredient, THC, produces a variety of effects, including disinhibition and euphoric high, feelings of relaxation, relief from pain, and intense sensitivity to colors, sounds, tastes, and smells. LSD is a powerful hallucinogenic drug, ergot fungus, that is also known as acid, where marijuana's THC delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol is the major active ingredient in marijuana, the hemp plant, that triggers a variety of effects, including hallucinations. It may also increase anxiety or depression, impair motor coordination and reaction time, and disrupt memory formation. Because THC lingers in the body for a month or more, regular users may achieve a high with smaller amounts of the drug than do occasional users. This is different from most other drugs, where that you require more and more of a substance in order to get the desired result. So here we see on the drug summary, alcohol is this depressant. Its initial high is followed by relaxation and disinhibition. Alcohol causes depression, memory loss, organ damage, and impaired reactions. Heroin is a depressant which causes a rush of euphoria and relief from pain. Depressed physiology and agonizing withdrawal takes place when heroin. Caffeine, common stimulant that we see in sodas and coffee and tea. It is a stimulant. It causes increased alertness and wakefulness. Anxiety, its adverse effects are anxiety, restlessness, insomnia, and in high doses, uncomfortable withdrawal. Methamphetamine, or speed, is a stimulant, which is a euphoria and alertness energy. It causes irritability, insomnia, hypertension, and sometimes seizures. Cocaine is also a stimulant. It causes a rush of euphoria. Confidence, energy comes from the use of cocaine. However, the adverse effects are it causes cardiovascular stress, suspiciousness, and a depressive crash after use. Nicotine, the substance most commonly used in cigarettes and chewing tobacco, is a stimulant. It causes the arousal and relaxation and a sense of well-being. Its adverse effects is that it tends to cause heart disease and cancer from the tars within the nicotine. Ecstasy, or MDMA, is a stimulant. It's a mild hallucinogen. It causes emotional elevation and disinhibition. Its adverse effects are dehydrating, overheating, depressed mood, cognitive and immune functioning are also impaired. Marijuana is a mild hallucinogen. It causes an enhanced sensation of relief of pain, distortion of time, relaxation. Its adverse effects is that it impairs learning and memory, an increased risk of psychological disorders. It can cause lung damage from the smoke, as well. So the graph below shows the percentage of U.S. high school seniors reporting their use of alcohol and marijuana and cocaine in the 70s to the late 90s. And as you can see, the use has actually gone from the 70s has gone down significantly. Where cocaine, all drug and alcohol use has gone down compared to people that were in high school in the 70s. So discuss the biological, psychological, and social cultural factors that contribute to drug use. Drug use among teenagers and young adults have decreased during the 1980s as attitudes have changed and began to rebound during the mid-90s, recently tapering off. Twin adoption studies, as well as animal and molecular genetic studies, indicate that some people are biologically more likely to become dependent on drugs such as alcohol. One biological basis for addiction is a brain pleasure pathway, the dopamine reward circuit. One psychological factor that contributes to drug use is the feeling that one's life is meaningless and directionless, and studies reveal that heavy drug users often have experienced significant stress or failure and are depressed. Drug use can also have social roots, evident in differing rates of drug use across cultural and ethnic groups. In the United States, drug addiction rates are very low, and among the Amish, Mennonites, Mormons, and Orthodox Jews, peer pressure may lead people, especially teenagers, to experiment with and become dependent on drugs. Possible avenues for treatment and prevention involve education, boosting people's self-esteem and purpose in life, and inoculation against peer pressure. The use of marijuana in teenagers is directly related to the perceived risk involved with the drug. Now we talk about near-death experiences. We're going to describe near-death experience and the controversy over whether it provides evidence for mind-body dualism. A number of those who have survived the brush with death later recall near-death experiences. These experiences often are marked up by out-of-body sensations, visions of tunnels and bright lights, and intense feelings of joy and peace. The dualists, who believe that the mind and the body are two distinct entities, interpret these experiences as evidence of human immortality. Monists, who presume the mind and body are different aspects of the same thing, point out that reports of such experiences closely parallel reports of hallucinations and may be products of the brain under stress. So after a close brush with death, many people report an experience of moving through a dark tunnel with the light at the end under the influence of hallucinogens. Others report bright lights at the center of their field of vision. The near-death experiences raises these mind-bodies issues, and can the mind survive the dying body? And as we've talked about before, back in chapter, the prologue, we talked about the concepts of dualism and monism. Dualists believe that the mind is non-physical and the body is physical, and there are two distinct entities that interact. Monism, of course, the monists believe that the mind and the body are different aspects of the same thing. So that concludes our chapter. And so